you know when you hear voices that speak from the heart, for sure. I'm going to introduce another friend, Derenje Berenda, who comes to Edmonton from Ethiopia via some time working in Brooks with immigrants and refugees there. Derenje is studying now in the Rural Economy Department at the University of Alberta, and again looking forward to new contributions he'll make in Edmonton. So welcome, Derenje.
Before all, I would like to thank Edmonton Mennonite Centre for Newcomers and the director, Mr. Gurnett, to bring me here to speak about peace and the war. And second, I would like to thank the coordinators of this program, the Peace Day, to offer us this opportunity to share you our experience regarding the peace, war, and our general life in the past that we suffered due to the war. Originally, I am from Ethiopia. Some of you may know Ethiopia, where it is located, and some of you may not know. It is situated in East Africa. You know Africa? Yes. And then I came from Ethiopia, and my name is as he introduced you. And this, to tell you some from the historical background of Ethiopia, it is formed by war after the Berlin Conference, Scramble for Africa, and it retains this name and the present map through war. You know, it is formed through war. And again also, there was no, and there is no time where Ethiopia lived without war. It survived through war till now. And the country is tensioned in external and internal war. I came from that country. To share you specifically my life, I was first, forced to fight while I was in university for the government, and the government forced university students to line up in the war to protect. I came again from such country where the youth, the women, and many people, the productive age, are forced and compelled to involve in a war. And I came from that country which is tensioned with external and internal war. And currently the country is still in a serious war with Somalia, Eritrea, and internally with different opponent political parties, where there is no peace discussion, peace debate to bring development and the peace for the country. And so I was compelled to flee the country due to the civil war existing in the country in year 2001, while I was pursuing my master's program at University of Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, and fled to Kenya, the neighboring country. To tell you the misery part of this war, I was separated from my whole family, departed from my friends, mother, father, and others. Again also, I abandoned my education. Again, I gave up my job. I lost my property, and eventually and unwillingly forced to live miserable life in exile in Kenya. And again also, it is another consequence of war to share the life of refugee with series of problems like security problem, health and other social problems, economic problems in refuge country. Most of you might not know what the refugee life looks like. It is very miserable. Sometimes you may consider that as hell came down to this ground. You know, in the refuge life, many people, they lose their life, they commit suicide because of the problem in the refuge country. thanks to the United Nations, High Commissioner for Refugees, and those stakeholders in this organization to save lives and to protect lives of tremendous people from different corners of the world here. And so the refuge camps exist in refuge countries, but those refuge camps are located in a very arid zone of the countries, and that is also a miserable life that came after the consequence of war, after you are forced to flee your country. And eventually, I would like to thank the Canadian government, to give me protection and to give me permanent residence permit and to come to Canada, to save me from that series of problems from war and miserable refugee life and other problems which are emanating from these all things. And I came some years ago, about 2 years ago, to Canada, and I lived 1 year in Brooks, and I came here, Edmonton, a year ago. And after that, I started also volunteering with Edmonton Mennonite Centre, and again pursuing my master's program at University of Alberta. And I started, breathing the peace. This here, many of you may see it as simple, but for us, we are considering as heaven because we came from that all problems. And we love this peace day. And I'm a bit, unhappy to see very few people coming for peace. I'm understanding this, that some of the peoples who are living in this country, they are living in a peace and they don't know about the problem, the consequence of war. Yeah, and if they would know this the problem of war, many of them would have been here and to share such, experiences that is from different corner of the world, who are practically facing the problem. So I would like again to thank all of you to give me your precious time and listen to my life experience with war. War is not an easy thing. It assumes, the greatest share of the budgetary revenue of different developing countries currently. And many children are, separated from their mothers and the father, husband and the wife separated, and different resources are lost. Natural resources are burned down and they are lost. And the environmental degradation and other impacts of war can be traced here. And many of you know from the experience of First and the Second World War, especially after the bombardment of the two important cities of Japan, the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki in the Second World War, and again, the war in Afghan, and again also in Iraq and the other corners of the world. And no need of this mentioning because many of you are aware of this all on the news. And I would like to thank again the Edmonton Mennonite Centre, which is concerned with the problem of immigrants in different, aspects of their lives, and sharing their pain with them and helping them in getting jobs, and again in settlement and integration, and other, especially in also training the professionals from the foreign countries to just get professional job in Canada. And thank you very much. I appreciate it.